Yo guys, today we are going to do a project walkthrough. I'm going to show you how I created Uncovered in Ableton Live. Alright guys, it's good to see you back. It's always good to see familiar faces. As you can see, Chisler is dressed up. We had a bit of quarrel. You know how women's are. No, kid, you don't. Today I'm going to show you my track Uncovered, and I'm going to go through in every sample that I used in this project. I'm going to show you all the sounds what are in the track, and I'm going to show what I did to the certain sound so it looks like this and sounds like this. Let's jump into Ableton Live and let me show you how it's done. Alright, so here we are in the project Uncovered. It's out on Nashcats Underground. By clicking to the I button you can listen to the full track. Yeah, let me show you the return channels. I have a small reverb in here, and I have a 2 times small reverb. I call this most of the times the whole reverb, but this is not a whole reverb. This is just a double time reverb of the small reverb. And I have a simple delay with a little bit off on the sides, so with different milliseconds delay. And also a ping-pong delay on 50-50, and I have a saturator to saturate the sound. So let's start with the drums. I'm going to use this part, the climax, because everything is playing here. And let's go through on every single channel. So this is a kick. I use the utility to force it into mono, and I also use the Barcode plugin to boost a little bit the lower frequencies, but you know, just a parallel kind of thing. By the way, I created a simple version of this beat in a tutorial in a previous one, so you can click on the information button and check that video as well. And I removed a bit of the lower frequencies, so I will have more space for the sub sounds, but you know, just a little difference. At 35 Hz I done that. I use this head kick with filter automation, you know, volume automation on it, and it sounds like this. Actually, the second one I see. But I should not use it like this, but like this. So actually, I should use only the boosted part. Yeah, I made a mistake when I saved this one. This is sounds like this. Sorry for that. So I removed the lower frequencies because I just needed the higher frequencies of this head. And the volume is automated around the filter and shaped like the kick. Here is my snare, forced into mono, lower frequencies removed, single thing, and then other clap, lower frequencies removed, and also some of the high frequencies. This beat is a kind of a wonky one, and I wanted to have the mid frequencies for this, so it's more dirty. This is a hat. It's a bit, I think, yeah. I used the ozone imager on this one to spread it out a bit into the stereo field. And I also have another hat to layer it a bit. I used an isotope imager. Actually, I did not use it, so we can just delete it. But I cut it the lower frequencies of the kick, and it's mainly playing in the high areas, just over 1000 kilohertz. And this is this click. I have it here. Sorry. I have an LFO tool on it. The LFO tool, if you don't know what what's the LFO tool? It's like a sidechain compressor. Yeah, and that's a bit of a different EQing, but I just removed the low frequencies, and that was the clicky thing or something here what bothered me, so I removed it as well. Oh, actually I just cleaned up the frequencies, so nothing special. Here's a tom. Classic thing. Also the lower frequencies removed because the sub bass is going to take care of all the low frequencies. I want to keep that area clean. And here's the percussion part. As you can see here are the return channels. And if you turn the volume up on these, it sends the sound out to the return channel. So that's how you use the return channels. That's how you shape the sound a bit. So that's one of them. Lower frequencies removed. Simple thing. And here's the other one. Yeah, nothing special, nothing special. I have a shaker here. Lower frequencies removed. LFO tool added. And here I have a loop, which is a top loop. Sounds like this. In different parts of the track, I use it differently. So here I just use the snare. And at the beginning of the track, I just use the hats. But it's the same loop, just volume automated differently. And I have a drum fill in the track, which is here. Yep. The full version of this one sounds like this. Like this. And I use it like this. Didn't use the whole thing, just cut it out apart what I needed. And on this group, on this drum group, I added a glue compressor. So it just glues the sound together, and it sounds more as one. It's not separated tracks. So I tried it with a simple compressor, but it didn't work for me, so I just added this glue compressor. Here it's a bit more exciting part. Here is the sub bass. Not the monster, but the normal one. So, what's going on with this sub bass? It's a really simple one. It has a saw wave, which is turned down by 1 octave, and it's turned all the way into stereo. And that's what actually the sound is coming from. And then part B, I introduce a little bit of noise, but really just a tiny bit. And also a sine wave, which thickens up the lower frequencies. I added a low pass filter to it, and also, you know, a cut of A and B to play it. It's becoming more aggressive with this one. So this cut of A and B, what really makes the difference. And this is coming from a saw bass supported with a sine wave. It's a really simple thing. I added the LFO tool. I don't want it to hit when the kick hits. I forced it to mono with a utility. I removed the higher frequencies of it. And the sound comes full with this top bass. It's a little bit distorted, so it's kind of a ghetto sound. Let me show you how this one is done. This one is a sine wave together and a square wave. The square wave what really gives the character to this one, but a sine wave is just warms it up. It's become more fuller, more deeper. Also, I have a cut of A and B, but differently applied to here. And this one is stereo, it's not mono because the sub bass is taking part of the mono frequencies under like 120 hertz, and this one is more to create a wider stereo image. And there is this sine wave, no, not sine wave, this triangle wave, I think. It's called it's called triangle wave. This is to, yeah, you know, just to support the sound a little bit, but it's not making a difference. Yeah, so it's just layer the sound a little bit. Also an LFO tool applied to this one, and on this one I removed the lower frequencies. What's more special? I don't know why it's... Oh, I know. And I added this sound from a sample bank library to bring variety to my rhythm. Lower frequencies removed, LFO tool applied, same thing here. And this one is, I really like this one in my beat. It's from a Kashmir bank, it's a brace sound. Actually, the Kashmir banks are really good to give more flavor to your production. So I like to use them when I'm stuck with the beat and I just need some sound to, you know, fastly throw it in and make the final version out of it. So it sounds like this. And together this bass group is here. And here's the groove. We already have the good groove. I just needed some instruments to it, what makes the track final. If you know my productions, you know I use vocals all the time, so let's jump into the vocal section. I use 2 samples in this one, 3. One is the word "Who's doing what?" The second one is the word "uncovered." And this is a short sentence. So, but this is what's going through all the track. Who's doing what? Uncovered. And I had this idea, like, who's the weight? Who's doing what? I added this sample. I think it's from a classic Lil Jon sample bank. And by adding this, I had this idea, hoo 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 hoo, like dog is barking. I got the idea from here, bark of the dog. You know, remember the Dutch hound? That's where it comes from. So, hoo, 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 hoo. Hoo! But it didn't sound good with this bark, the woof. It sounded better with the human voice. So it's nothing special going on here, just a little bit of compression on the vocals to balance the volume of this one, and that's the whole thing. All right, and now another important or interesting part of the track. This is the main melody, so this top note. And it's supported by this low drone sound. Both of them I removed the lower frequencies. I wanted to keep the breakdown part really weak. Is this something? Yeah, I wanted to keep it weak, so when the tracks come back to the drop, it hits bigger. So that's why the lower frequency is removed. It's not something I do all the time, but with this track, it worked worked really well. So top note. Let's start with this one. I added a simple delay to this one and an LFO tool, and I shaped it a little bit with the EQ8. But let me show you this sound. It's something I like. It's just two oscillators, oscillator 1, oscillator 2, and the first one is a saw wave and the second one is a square wave, which is a half buzz, but this is a square wave. This is a version of the square wave. And I added a filter to this one, a low pass filter, and you know, just shaped it so I shaped it the way I like it. So it's good to know how to use these low pass filters because you can shape the sound to a totally different direction. Without it, it's trancey, psytrancey stuff where you can imagine this sound in a EDM track, but cutting the higher frequencies of it, it's just more underground thing. I just love it, sorry. Let's continue with the slow drone. This is a saw wave, 8 voices, a little bit detuned. Here it is. You can check it. It's not a difficult sound. It's just 2 octaves down, oscillator 1, and the other one is just 1 octave down. It's kind of the same sound, by the way, just detuned a little bit differently. What is interesting, what I like in this sound, it's this pad. It's just some saw waves together, detuned a bit, make sure it's all stereo, and higher frequencies removed a bit. You know, the modulation envelope is used again to shape it. On the pad sounds, you want to use a longer attack time and a longer release and sustain. That's where the characteristic comes from, the pad characteristic. And in this group, I used another sample. I don't know where it's this from. It doesn't really matter. Sample sounds like this. Let me remove the things from it. You don't really realize this in the track. It's just to, I don't know. It just adds something to the track, which sounds more pleasing. Yeah, so without this, with this one is last but not at least, I have this uplifter, really simple one. So that's what the track looks like, and I hope you find this interesting. Alright guys, so this was a video. I didn't do anything like this before, so if I missed something or I skipped something what you would like to see, just let me know in the comments, and if I make a next one I can take care about it, that I don't miss it out. I was Chris Lawyer from Nashcats Audio, and this video was sponsored by Nashcats Underground, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!